I believe Sutori is a great technology tool for educators to use. It is also a great resource for students to be able to go on and add their own presentations and create timelines for themselves for an assignment for a class. It even says right on here, collaborative instructional and presentation tool for the classroom. So there's a lot of resources throughout here. It shows different videos of how you can use techniques on Sutori. For example, this is saying for social studies teachers, and it shows you how to set up your own timeline. It also shows you how simple it is to add slides and add pictures, and it gives you some tutorials on how to do all of these actions on here. If you move along, it also says that you can do some research on here. It allows your students to do some critical thinking, which is always really important in the classroom. It also allows for collaboration. Students could do group assignments with this. They could even just follow along with presentations that you already made if there's iPads in the classroom, or if you're using a smart board to display your presentation. It'll be a great interactive way for students to follow along. It even shows you how Sutori can fit into your teaching style. It says that it's perfect for history, geography, and sociology. There's also many other different options, like you can do videos for English, language, and arts teachers. There's writing and multimedia assignments, and you can enhance your literacy, be more creative, like I said before, for your students. You can also focus on communication between students and the visual pictures that you can add to it. Again, it's showing you like how the Sutori could fit into your teaching. They provide you with different templates and lesson plans and so much more. You can visit the gallery to see all these different options that they have for you. It shows some examples of how it's really loved by teachers and some success stories of other teachers using this resource. And it shows you some of the schools that have adopted it and use it at their campuses. And it shows how many teachers and students are using it across the world, which is really great to see that so many people are picking up on such a great resource. It shows like who they are, how it got started, and everything. And I also thought that this was a great thing that during this pandemic, they're providing free access to Sutori Unlimited while schools are closed. So it's a great way to do some online teaching, and it's easier for the teachers to transition into it, and it's very helpful for the students because they're able to see all these visuals and even hear their teacher's voice in the background if they do some voice recordings in it, or they can watch some videos. It's just a great resource for the students and the teachers in general. Scroll back up to the top here. It shows you different categories for teachers, schools, business, pricing, and more. So you can go to your own stories here. This is a timeline that I created for the American Civil War. So once it pops up here, here's just a little visual of what the timeline looks like. I created this timeline for a previous assignment I did in this course. So when I made my Sutori timeline, I chose to do it on the American Civil War, and this timeline would be at a middle school level. And more specifically, in 8th grade United States history class, it would be under the 5.0 history standard, which says that students will examine specific ideas, beliefs, and themes, organize patterns and events, and analyze how individuals and societies have changed over time in Maryland, the United States, and around the world. So even though this standard is fitting more for an older group of students, it just goes to show that this website can be used for really any age group and any standard. I found this standard through the Maryland Social Studies State Standards. There's also a lot of ideas right on the website that will cover all of the standards and age levels. Overall, I think that this is a great resource for educators to use to create timelines and other presentations for their students. It will also be a great resource for their students to either do a project with or go on to find more information on a topic that someone else may have already done a presentation on. So if we go back to students up at the top here, you can even invite your students to see it. You can click on resources at the top. And it will even show you all these different groups that you can follow and like fall under. They have social studies, English, math, science, arts, music, languages, elementary, which would be a good one for this class to focus on, higher education, activities, and graphic organizers. So you could even create lesson plans through this website. Just gives you some examples of different units that are on here. The timeline itself were really easy to create, and it was fun to watch all of the tutorials that go along with it, and it saves automatically, and you can even get a shareable link to be able to share it with your class, or for any class that you're doing it for, you could share it with your teachers. So here are some examples of the different topics that you can cover throughout it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I think it's a great resource for all teachers and students to use.